there! Guess who's back? Back again. Sprinkles is back. Tell a friend. Okay, now that really cheesy rendition of an Eminem song is over with, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see, I know. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this video that you're about to watch, it's kind of old. I actually shot this video as well as two other ones during like the last 2 weeks of my pregnancy. And I had every single intention of editing and posting those videos before I had my baby, and y'all, that just didn't happen. Cause I felt like grade A garbage during those last 2 weeks. Look, y'all, I had a rough, like physically tough pregnancy. It wasn't like the worst pregnancy in the world. I know that there are people who have had it worse than me. But yeah, those last 2 weeks zapped the life right out of me. So I did not get around to editing and posting, and I also had every intention of making more videos during my maternity leave. And here I am. I'm now down to like 2.5 weeks left in maternity leave, and this is the first time I've turned on the camera. So yeah, apparently being a single mom is harder than I thought it was gonna be. You guys, I'm not downplaying it whatsoever. It's just that, you know, when you're pregnant or before you get pregnant, you think you know what it's gonna be like, but oh my God, it's a lot. It's not like 100% different, but it's just so much more than you ever think that it would be. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that, yeah, it's more than I thought. Like, this is nonstop. So anyway, this particular video is a video of my 3rd trimester symptoms. And since I filmed it forever ago, I thought I should probably reshoot the intro. And now this intro is lasting for 20 minutes. But yeah, in my original intro, I had said something along the lines of, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot this and get it out before I have the baby. Yeah, that didn't happen. So anyway, this is just me going over what symptoms I had my 3rd trimester. And I believe that I shot it when I was about 38, 39 weeks along. I wanted to wait till closer to the end so that I could, you know, get in everything I possibly could. But anyway, I will shut up so that you guys can watch the video. A couple of things that have come up this trimester, in addition to the other things that have carried over from last trimester. So let's see, I still have heartburn. My heartburn is even worse. I had to go on a prescription, and I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last video or not, but I had to go on a heartburn prescription. And when I wake up, it's just a 1-a-day pill. I wake up, take it in the morning. But it is so bad that not only do I have to sleep on an incline, but whenever I wake up in the morning, it's like a mad rush to the kitchen to take my heartburn pill and like let everything calm down. I do still throw up from time to time. Yeah, that's fun. So the morning sickness has not completely gone away for me. It never did. It just, in the 1st trimester, it was like just about an everyday occurrence. 2nd trimester got to a point where it backed off to like every 2 weeks. Now it's not so much every 2 weeks. You know, sometimes it's a little further out. Sometimes I went through a patch in my 3rd trimester earlier in my 3rd trimester where it was like at least once a week, and then it backed off to like once every 2 to 3 weeks. And that's what I'm sitting at right now. The last time I had it was like a week or 2 ago. And let me tell you, at that point, my kid was so big that, okay, so, in case you don't know, you reach a point where your kid gets so big and your uterus gets so big that it sort of like moves your organs around. And so my stomach is like way up here. It feels like it's right here all the time. So boobs, belly. I don't know why I had to give you guys that visual, but feels like it's always like right here under my chest. And one morning I was taking a shower and this kid, he's already head down. He legit kicked me in the stomach, and breakfast made a reappearance there in the shower. So that was real lovely. I do have carpal tunnel. So with carpal tunnel, the way that the doctor explained it to me, and it's really just in my right hand. It's the weirdest thing. But basically my right wrist is swelling, and the swelling in my wrist has compressed my carpal tunnel nerve, which has made my right hand, it's dead. If I do feel something, like I can still write and use it, but it's very numb. If I do feel anything, it's usually like right here in my fingertips, like this hand is pretty much dead. For the last like couple of weeks, probably about a month, we did hire a couple of new people at my office, and they are filling in various aspects of my job for me while I'm out. And so yeah, I spent some time training them, and most of the time I did a screen share to an Apple TV so they could see what I was doing on like a big screen. And they would get to laughing because I would get to typing, and I swear I can type. I just had so many typos because this hand is dead. So yeah. In addition to my wrist swelling, my feet are as big as pancakes. My feet have swollen. They had started to swell like during my second trimester, but they weren't too horrible. Now in my third trimester, it's like goodbye ankles, hello cankles. Like these puppies are huge. And as you might also be able to tell, like this section of my face is swollen as well. So my nose is a little wider. My lips, I noticed a couple of weeks ago, my lips have gotten like, it looks like I got Botox. Like, this is the best my lips have looked since high school. But yeah, they've swollen up a little bit too. The doctor said that's normal. My entire face is not swollen, so that's not a huge concern. I don't have other signs of like preeclampsia, because my mom was real worried about that at first, because she'd always heard that facial swelling is a sign of preeclampsia. My blood pressure's in check. I don't have any protein in my urine, and it's just my nose and my lips, so it's not like my whole face. So, yeah, the doctors said, hey, it's not preeclampsia, but this can be normal for some women. So yeah, I mean, I know other people whose noses have like, you know, gotten a little bigger towards the end of their pregnancies. So that one wasn't too surprising, but like with my lips, and sometimes you'll hear me slur a word because I'm not used to having lips this big. But yeah, my lips were just a little surprising. But hey, I'm gonna enjoy it while I can, right? We will pass over that one because y'all don't need to hear about things that happen to your butt. So nausea still happens. It goes along with the heartburn. We already talked about morning sickness. Y'all, the exhaustion in your third trimester is real. So during one of like my childbirth classes, they actually talked about this. They talked about how you're exhausted in your first trimester. Your second trimester, you get a little bit of energy. You get some pep back in your step. And then in your third trimester, it's just as bad as your first trimester. It was different for me. I never really got that burst of energy in my second trimester. I never like got to feeling back to normal. I felt a little better, but never really got like my normal level of energy back. Let me tell you something, now that I'm in my third trimester, it's like, you know, you get that instinct where it's like, all right, I have to get everything ready in this house, and I have to get all of my like freezer meals made, and you know, you got to get stuff done before this baby comes. But dear God, I don't have the energy to do it. I can do it in small bursts, and that's about it. So I'll be able to do like a little bit at a time, then I have to sit down or lay down. And then a little while later I can pick it back up. But yeah, it's the exhaustion in my third trimester is a little different than it was in my first. It's I don't know, it's like the same level of exhaustion, but I can't, it takes me forever to do anything these days. So my body temperature is also running a little hotter than normal. So I figured I would be one of those women who throughout her entire pregnancy was just burning up all the time, because I am normally a hot-natured person. In fact, I was a hot-natured person when I was a size 6 in college. I was just, my body's always run hot. I mean, hello, I'm hot. Sarcasm. But yeah, so during my pregnancy, the first like 2 trimesters, I was okay, and it was weird because yeah, it was like the heat of the summer, and I was not the one person in the office that was like, y'all, it's too hot. Like I wasn't complaining or jacking with the thermostat and turning it down. So when I hit the third trimester, and granted, I hit the third trimester on the tail end of summer, it was still hot, and it still is sort of in Memphis. Like, we don't have like a cold fall. Like today, it's in the upper set. It's like 78 today, and it's supposed to be fall. Don't get me started. So yeah. But, you know, as the temps would start to cool down, my body temperature seemed to be like cranking up. So yeah. And my dad still makes a joke. Anytime he comes over to this house to help me out with anything, he always says he has to bring a fleece jacket because he's like, you know, in the middle of a polar vortex in this house. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Put on your layers. So, anyway, there's that. Man, in your third trimester, you get a lot of aches and pains. So I've got lower back pain and sciatica on here, but those are not the only two. Let me see if the other ones are on here. Let's see. Yeah, some of them are. So you get that lower back pain because you get a big, I mean, your belly just keeps getting bigger. So, and let me tell you, I'm at 39 weeks. My mother was over here yesterday and she looked at me, she's like, oh my God, your belly got even bigger. You're this close to the end of your pregnancy. Like, how is it still getting bigger? But the thing is, when you're short, you run out of room to go vertically. So yeah, you eventually run out of room to grow vertically. So the only way to go is out. So, and the further out you go, the more your back hurts. So, yeah, I'll have lower back pain. Y'all, this is when the seat heaters in my car have really come in handy. It's like a built-in heating pad for my back. So in the heat of the summer, I would have those things cranked up to high and have my air conditioning blowing on me like full blast. So yeah, that was the only way I was able to like make it through some days. Sciatica was not a constant thing for me, thank you God. I will have certain bouts of it where if I've been sitting down for too long or laying down for too long, like when I get up, it's kind of like it shoots down like my left butt cheek, and I don't know why I'm like pointing because yeah, there I go again. So it'll like shoot down my left butt cheek and into like the back of that leg. It's only happened a time or two on the right side, but yeah, it is. Y'all, I did not know how painful sciatica was until this whole experience, and let me tell you, for the people who have it on a regular daily basis, God love you. I don't know how you get through it. So yeah, that can happen in your third trimester. Y'all, my hips have hurt. They've hurt. Because, according to the book I've been reading, I mean, you kind of got to make way for the baby to come out. And here I go with the hand gestures again. But, according to the ultrasound, my kid's got a big head. So I don't know how well that's going to go. But your brain releases a hormone that like is supposed to relax your hip joints. But your brain also does not discriminate against your other joints. So, yeah, that hormone can spread to other joints. It has affected one or two of my fingers on this hand, specifically my middle finger. It will get locked, not in the straight up position. So it's not like I'm giving someone the bird. But if I'm gripping something and then I gotta let it go, sometimes this finger will be locked in this position and I manually have to like let it out. But my pain, let me tell you, my hip pain hit an all-time high and I did not realize what was going on. I told my doctor about it during like that following appointment. So the most pain I ever felt, y'all, I thought I needed an old people walker. Like, I needed a walker with tennis balls on the back legs of it and the whole 9 yards. I was having to grip things to walk around a model home one day. It was bad, and thank God nobody came in and saw me. But it felt like somebody was just punching me. Like, so here's my hips, right? I'm not gonna stand up and give you guys a visual. So here, let's say these are your hips. I felt like somebody was punching me on my right hip, just punching me constantly at a downward angle on the bottom part of my right hip. Just bam, bam, bam. It was just killing me. And so I mentioned this to my doctor and she said, oh, the baby must be flipping, because for the longest time, he was in the transverse position, which means he was laying horizontally. So he wasn't head up. He was just laying side to side. And so when they go to flip, sometimes they'll get to like this sort of angle right here. And it's not like they get stuck, but it's like they pause there for a moment. And she said that's what it sounds like my baby did. Sounds like in the middle of his flipping, he did that, and it only happened, like lasted for like a day or two. It was the most painful day or two ever. But like when they flip like this and they get at this angle, their head is doing basically what I was just saying, like just punching on that bottom right hip. And every time I took a step, it was painful. Every time I like sneezed, it was painful. Every time like I did anything, it was painful. So about a day or two later, like it finally went away. And then a few weeks later, I had my next ultrasound. And at that point, he was completely head down and his face was like looking at my spine, which is the position you want them to be in to give birth. So you want them head down facing the back. And so she said, you know, that had to have been what had happened. He was just flipping and he just paused there for about a day or two. And holy cow. Cool. I never want to have to go through that again. So there was that. I did get constipated for a little bit. Y'all, that constipation, it can happen anytime during pregnancy. Surprise. So it's not just a first trimester thing. It can be a second trimester and a third trimester thing. So let's see what else. I am, as you can tell, I'm out of breath. I've been out of breath for a while. This kid is currently about 8 pounds and he's long-ish. I think he's long. He feels long, okay? Because the doctor says that his head's pretty far down, but I swear to God, I still feel him kicking like way up here. Like I feel feet kicking me like up here. So hopefully my kid is long. I don't want my son to be short like his mama. So hopefully he will get some height from his dad. But yeah, so where the hell was I? Oh, talking about, yeah, pregnancy brain. Still happens in the third trimester. Being out of breath, at this point he's so big that he's kind of laying on my lungs. So y'all, I still, like, anytime I get to walking, like in a store, which I haven't gone to stores lately, but anytime like I'm walking around the Target or the Kroger or wherever, I'm out of breath. Anytime I get to talking like during a video, I'm out of breath. That's why in a lot of my recent videos, you've seen a lot of like what we call jump cuts, because it's like, y'all, I don't want you to have to sit here and watch so many seconds of me trying to catch my breath, like just like that. So I'll be in the middle of talking about something and I'll just completely get out of breath and have to pause. I gotta take a pause for the calls and breathe. Or you hear me like a lot. So that's why you hear a lot of cuts in my video these days, or videos these days. So you guys, your feet, the reason why I was making that face, your feet and your hands and your wrists are not the only things that can swell. Or your lips and your face, not the only things that can swell. This kid has been putting a lot of pressure on what my doctor refers to as my pelvic floor. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And he's put so much pressure on my pelvic floor that my crotch is a tad swollen. Yeah, your crotch can swell before giving birth. Because in your childbirth classes, you learn that after birth, your lady bits swell. It's kind of like a battle zone down there. It can swell up just, I mean, it's not as bad as what it would be after birth, but it can swell up before giving birth. So in the event that you came to this video wanting to hear a little TMI, there you go. There's your lovely jewel. Braxton Hicks contractions kicked in around like week, was it 25 or 26? I can't remember. They kicked in, but when they kicked in, it wasn't like horrible at first. So I still have Braxton Hicks, but they feel different now. So at first, it just felt like the baby was balling up like low down inside of my belly. And the doctor said at that point, yeah, that can be a normal variation of Braxton Hicks. Now it feels different because he is bigger. But now it sort of starts off as like a light menstrual cramp. So if I feel like I'm getting a light menstrual cramp, I'm like, okay, this is probably a Braxton Hicks. But now it's like my entire uterus hardens. It becomes hard as a rock. And in fact, I had one the other day. I had one while I was on the examining table at the doctor's office. She was, she had the Doppler out and was getting ready to take his heart rate. And so, of course, when they do that, they got to feel around on the belly. They got to find the baby so that they know where to put the Doppler. And so she was feeling around on my belly, and she was like, oh my God, is he really this big? I thought according to his last ultrasound, he was only weighing in at this much. And so she checked my chart, and she was like, okay, so it's not that the baby is big. And of course, as she's checking my chart, she still has one hand on my belly, so she can still feel what's going on. She said, it's not that the baby is this big, it's that your uterus is you're having a contraction right now. Do you feel that? And I was honestly sitting there like, no, I don't. So that one did not start off with a light menstrual cramp. So yeah, it's like, I don't. So she said, could be a good thing. It could mean that you'll be able to tolerate labor well. But yeah, you're having a contraction. So, but since I don't have them frequent, like they're not on a frequent basis, they do still tag them as Braxton Hicks. So I'm like, whatever, this is a real contraction. So, but my name is not Memphis Mary MD. It's just Mary. So anyway, yeah, I've been like towards the latter part of my pregnancy, I started having more and more Braxton Hicks. So now I at least get them on a daily basis, but I don't get any more than like maybe 2 or 3 an hour. And they say if you're getting 4 an hour, then that's when you need to call the doctor. Yeah, so you want to join us for this one. So there's that. Would you like to read the rest of the list? What you say this one? Look, we're right here. Yeah, I didn't think so. Nobody wants to say that one. I do have increased discharge. So it is not a sign of an infection. Believe me, I asked. And according to the childbirth class I went to, it's normal. It just means your body is secreting more things to sort of prepare the way for the baby. So yeah, it's another TMI that I know you guys wanted to hear. I did finally, yes. You want to read this one? Okay. I did finally go into nesting mode. So I went into nesting mode probably about like a week ago. Yeah. I woke up one day just feeling like I need to clean my car. I've got to clean my car out. And so I did. I went out to my parents' house. I was going out there anyway, and I knew that my dad had like car cleaning supplies. So I did. I freaking like polished the inside of my car. That is, if you know me, that is very unlike me. So I did not just hit it with the Swiffer duster, because that's what I would normally do. Like, let's hit this thing with the Swiffer duster. No, I like got the dust out of it. I hit it with like the cleaning polish. I cleaned the inside, I cleaned the front and the back seat and the trunk. And we also like wiped down or cleaned the inside of the windows. So I do need to run it through a car wash, but we'll get to that. So yeah, there's that. And I also like hit a point where it was like, and it was like, I swear, like last week, the week before, like maybe a week and a half ago, because it lasted for about a week. And it's not that I don't want to nest anymore. It's just that like the feeling is not as strong, and I went back to being out of breath and out of energy. So, yeah, for like a week there, it was like, all right, what laundry do I need to wash? Well, I've already washed all his clothes. So it's like, what else do I need to wash? What else do I need to organize and clean and like everything? So the house is in really good shape. I mean, we've pretty much done everything that we need to do. So, and my dad has been a huge help to me during this whole time. So my house is pretty much ready to go. I don't know if you're ready to go. Like, you realize I'm bringing home a tiny human in about 9 or 10 days, right? No, he's coming home. I'm not leaving him at the hospital. Okay. So yeah, that nesting feeling. And you'll know when you get it, because I thought that I'd gotten it earlier, like in the 2nd trimester. No, like, yeah, I did want to start getting things ready, but like when you actually get that nesting feeling, it is a little different. So yeah, it's a different mindset. It's like something clicks in your brain and you have to get it going. Other than that, I have periodically had leaky boobs. That can happen because well, first of all, my boobs have never stopped growing throughout this whole process. So, I mean, because you always read your baby books that your boobs grow during the first trimester, and then I thought, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so they'll be done growing at the end of my first trimester. Oh no, they've gotten bigger in the second trimester, and they've gotten bigger in the third trimester, and it's like, oh my God, my cleavage line is about to be up to my chin. So, but yeah, they do say in the book that your body starts formulating the milk, or it starts producing the milk, is what I mean to say, like at some point in your second trimester. And so it's not uncommon if your boobs leak a little bit here and there in your third trimester. That's happened to me. It's not a constant thing, thank God. And it's not like setting off a fire hydrant. So, I mean, it's just like a few little drops here and there. But yeah, the first time it happened, I was like, that's weird. And then I realized what was going on, and I was like, okay, well, at least things are working. So there's that. I sleep like garbage. And it's not because I'm like anxious or worried or scared. Like, you guys, I chose this journey for myself. It's something I've wanted for a very long time. Yes, I do get uncomfortable. You do get to a point where you are sort of uncomfortable, and sleeping is not the easiest thing in the world. But usually once I fall asleep, I stay asleep. So I'm able to fall asleep. But now during pregnancy, well, first of all, you wake up about 57 times a night to go pee. And when you lay back down, it's not always easy to fall right back asleep. Usually that's how I am. Usually if I've got to pee, I can walk to the bathroom with my eyes closed, go to the bathroom, wash hands, get back in bed, fall right back asleep. Not anymore. So, and it's just that I cannot turn my mind off. So it's not like anxiety. It's not like I'm anxious or that I'm worried about how things are gonna be. But it's more of like, I can't turn my brain off. Okay, so for instance, the other night, I get up, go to the bathroom, wash hands, get back into bed, and instead of being able to fall right back to sleep, I had the lyrics of Hotel California stuck in my head, literally. I mean, and I can recite the whole song, like, I grew up listening to it. So, I mean, literally, like, the things that were going through my mind was on a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. I mean, just going through the whole song. I couldn't turn it off. Or I'll start, like, thinking about my to-do list. So, I know I need to do this, and then I've got to finish that, and then I have to send this into work, and, you know, the whole 9 yards. And it's not that I'm worried that I can't accomplish it. It's just like, I can't turn my mind off. So, enough about that. So that's why I sleep like garbage. And it's kind of unfair because if you sleep like garbage before the baby gets here, then you're not very well rested. Like, I know I'm going to sleep like garbage after he gets here, but like to go into sleeping like garbage, already sleeping like garbage, just does not seem fair. So, anyway. Congestion, that's continued from the last trimester. It's just the same. You also get to the point where you cannot bend over, and that is me. I'm telling you, like, every time I go from sitting to standing, I kind of make a little bit of a noise, like one of those old people, like, ugh, noises, like, ugh. Or anytime I have to bend over, it's just not the easiest thing in the world. Like, I drop things, and thank God my mom came over yesterday because she had to pick up a lot of things for me. But yeah, when I have to bend over, it's funny. One of my bosses at work said, you know, you sound like one of those guys working out at the gym. I'm like, yep. That's what it feels like when you have to bend over. And I did not say this to him because, I mean, you know, he's your boss, you're at work. But all I could think was like, okay, you try shoving a massive pumpkin up your crotch, and it's not like a normal pumpkin, it's one that wiggles and moves and kicks and punches. Shove that up your crotch, and then tell me how easy it is to bend over, or to go from sitting to standing, or to go from lying down in bed to like getting out of bed and standing up. Like, you do that. So, yeah. And he luckily does not watch my YouTube videos, so he will never hear that. And the other thing that I have on here is skin tags. You guys, I've never gotten skin tags a day in my life until I got pregnant. And thank God you can't really see them on camera. They're not like massive or like, you know, I don't look like one of those crusty old witches, like on Halloween. But the first one I got was like down here on my neck, and it's probably still here. Thank God you cannot see it. But when I first got it, I was like, is that a zit? And so I kept trying to like pop it or get rid of it. And then I was like, wait, that is not a zit, that is a skin tag. And so I have a lot of skin tags right now. And I did read, and I did ask my doctor about it, but she confirmed that what I read was true, because what I read said that skin tags can be normal during pregnancy, and hopefully this thing will go away after pregnancy, because I've got them like my neck, chest, like some up here on my shoulders, and then I have like one or two like under my boobs. I'm like, what is this? Ew. So hopefully they will go away on their own. If not, I've heard that you can get stuff at the store, like at the drugstore, to make them go away, but I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, that is all that I have written down. I don't know if, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? No, other than the exhaustion and the getting the change in the Braxton Hicks. I'm telling you, yesterday I was having them like while my mother and my two aunts were over at my house, and they would just look at me like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm having a Braxton Hicks, give me a minute. And burping, I do still burp a lot. So yeah, welcome to pregnancy, where you have no bladder control, no burp control, and no control over your own body. So, like I said, I've only got about 8 more days to go until my scheduled induction, because the reason why we're doing an induction is simply because during all of my 3rd trimester checks, this boy has pretty much told us that he's happy where he's at, and he ain't gonna come out without some encouragement. So, so yeah, I have not been, for as many Braxton Hicks contractions as I've had, I've not made a whole lot of progress. So effacement wise, I really haven't effaced that much. It took me 3 weeks. I am finally 1 centimeter dilated. It took me 3 weeks to dilate 1 centimeter. So, apparently my body is just gonna take it slow, and apparently my son is just gonna stay where he's at until we go in and get him. So I do have a scheduled induction. The plan is to have a vaginal delivery, but you know, if you go through childbirth class, you learn that sometimes inductions can have a higher probability to lead to a C-section. I'm not scared of a C-section. I'd like to avoid major abdominal surgery if I could. But you know, if my doctor says, hey, you haven't dilated any in the past 30 hours, it's time to just go for a C-section, I'm not gonna fight her on it. So, yeah, because people ask me, so what's your birth plan? I'm like, well, my birth plan is to get him out. So that's my plan. So, so yeah, there's that. And I am not going to be able to do a birth vlog. So some people have asked me about it. Are you gonna do a birth vlog? You know, part of me wants to, but the other part of me is like, eh. The thing is though, is that, the hospital I'm delivering at, if you're in the Memphis area, I'm delivering at Baptist Women's. They have a pretty strict no video rule, and I'm not trying to get in trouble with folks. So if they've got a hospital rule about no video, like no making videos in the birthing suite, then I ain't messing with that. They also have some pretty strict COVID rules now, so yeah, there's that too. And you know, if I was gonna make a video, I would want, so my mom's gonna be in there with me, and I don't want to be like, here mom, watch the whole birth through this tiny screen of the iPhone. You know, I don't want to do that to her. So if I was going to make one, I would probably want another person there to make it, but you know, I can't, not with COVID. With COVID, you can only take one person in there with you. And at the hospital I'm at, they can't swap out. So whoever you take in there with you, whoever comes with you, is who stays with you. So if my mom could leave. So if she needed to leave the hospital and come back, she can. But if she wants to like leave the hospital while she's gone, my dad cannot come in. So it's just one person with you and that's it. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. And I am currently working from home. I've been working from home for the past week. So this will be my 2nd week working from home. Basically with the rise in COVID cases in the Memphis area, My doctor, as well as like some of the other doctors I know of, like I've got a couple of friends that are also pregnant and their doctors are telling them the same thing. But yeah, my doctor said, all right, I want you to go home for the last 2 weeks of your pregnancy. You don't have to be on bed rest. I just, you know, you need to go home and you need to stay home. Basically go home and quarantine for the 2 weeks that are leading up to your induction. So I'm a week into that. This is the start of week number 2 for me, and thank God this is almost done with. So anyway, that is where we will end this video, and thanks for hanging in there with me during this one, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.